Hi, today is April 18th, 2021, and I'm going to do a mediumistic reading on Whitney Houston and whatever it is that she wishes to share, whatever it is that she wants to impart. And I'm just going to do this. This one's going to be a more simple style, and I can come back and do a more in-depth reading if people want later on. But right now I just want to share with whatever she wants to share and relate that. And I ask for the assistance of the Creator and my spiritual mentors to help me to read accurately and clearly. And I give thanks. Okay. Whitney. What does Whitney Houston wish to share with viewers of this video? What does Whitney Houston, what does she in spirit wish to share with those who are watching this video? Okay, let's see. Okay, she wants to make something very clear. And this is typically a card that brings finality or certainty. There is sometimes it can indicate if there's an end that needs to occur, it can indicate an end of a relationship or where you're living, etc. So let's just pull. I'm going to be reading in pairs, so pairing up is important here. Oops. And we get the Three of Swords. Usually what I do is 3 rows of 4, so a total of 12 cards usually. But sometimes no, it just depends on the reading. So let's carry on here when I'm looking in at this. She's definitely talking about what's clear as a betrayal, I feel like. And there's some kind of confusion, and so she's coming through very strongly, you guys. She is wanting there to be clarity that people understand about a betrayal, and wherein I believe intoxicants and an altered state of mind are at play. And also illness, because the Three of Swords can be illness too. So let's just see where she wants to go with this, with the further cards coming in. But here we've got, in my opinion, it looks like somebody definitely having an end through illness, through the heart, and she did die. According to the coroner, of cardiac arrest due to arterial disease, likely brought on by drug use, and she also had enough cocaine apparently in her system that she passed also because of cocaine intoxication. So this makes sense if she is speaking to the manner in which she passed, and the moon and the Seven of Cups, the water element, bringing that in, and that it seems a bit mysterious and it's a bit confusing to people. And I'm feeling like I think she felt very kind of out of it, of course, at the time. I'm feeling with that Seven of Cups, there's there's a lack of clarity, kind of a dreaminess. It's interesting. But I also I get it's definitely, I feel like a combination of already being ill with heart disease, arterial disease. She may not have known that. I don't know. But I see, this is speaking, I think, definitely at least to her situation, although it could easily speak to the situation also with her daughter. But this is what she wants to share. So she wants to be clear about something, and to be clear about some sort of a temptation or overindulgence, and the kind of, I think, the use of substance and addiction, and that there is, I feel like, a struggle that she engaged in trying to, I think, stop, to quit. But it's an ongoing battle with addiction. Every day, you know? And some days are better than others. And I see the Fool here, and she's saying she didn't, I think, realize that it would cause her to pass. Yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune. And this is, with the Wheel of Fortune, is actions that you put in motion, and others, and just how things fall into place based upon what you've done, what others around you have done, and how it affects you. And for her, she's pointing to her struggle with drug addiction. I can see very clearly, and it creating the arterial problem, even with the heart, with the Three of Swords, which is also, for many readers, the heart attack card. And I just feel that she wants it to be clear that she didn't mean to do it. She was not thinking straight. She was not aware that this was going to happen with the Fool. And she behaved a bit recklessly with the substance that she was ingesting here. And I think it created a reaction. I think this Five of Wands is a reaction, and is the overdose. This is the heart attack. Ah, yes, falling right under the heart, no less. So she's speaking to that, so we know that we're tracking. Okay. And she really feels that she was foolish in doing that, and it was because she was already pretty tight, as they say, that she was already under the influence. And I think it's one, I get the feeling she might be indicating is one of those things where she didn't realize how much she had had, and I feel like she took more, and it was a bad choice. So these are the poor choices, as the Moon here with the Wheel of Fortune, as a result of a poor choice, a kind of a private kind of, a hidden thing. It's not like you're going to say to everybody, hey, I think I'm going to go snort some, cocaine. And, so there's secretiveness about it, and not wanting people to be up in our business about it either. This is her, I feel like, passing as a result, and someone coming to assist her to transition to the next world. Because I doubt she probably knew what happened to her. Okay, let's go here. Lovers. And the Eight of Wands. Okay, what does she want to say? Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, here we see, I think, the end of her life because of drug addiction. And I think she really wants people, and to warn young people, all people, to be careful. Because it's easy to get where you, even though it's bad for you, you enjoy it. And it's very hard to give up. And this card shows that, yes, she's in a better place now. She's in a place certainly where she is not addicted, but, you know, it was a very sad, it broke hearts, her passing. And I feel like it created a struggle as well that went on, I think probably for her estate, because there's something here a little bit about money. And it doesn't look like it's very much, but there's something here. I definitely feel like she wants to tell kids to be very careful, and not just kids, but people, to be very careful of substances, especially street drugs. Because of her own bad reaction and not getting involved in that caught up in that scene of using to avoid it. She feels it was really foolish here. This is a good choices, bad choices card, the Lovers. You know, you're called to make a good choice, or you can make a choice that is for short-term happiness and instant gratification and not have a good time at all at the end of the day and rue it. And I'm feeling like she's indicating she really regrets all of this. And that she really wasn't using, she did not have clarity with what she was doing. That's very much indicated here with the substance and the confusion with the Seven of Cups and the Moon and the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. And she's wanting to urge people to make thoughtful choices when it comes to use of drugs, because especially that's coming off the street, I keep getting that with her, because it's like this is going to be more deadly. And people need to be aware, because they don't know what's in what they're getting also. That's also a feeling. But she really wants to get across that she had no idea this, she didn't think that this was going to cause her death, and she didn't think she had done anything that crazy. But then she started I'm to feel well with the heart, feeling sick. I picked up on that, and the heart, of course, issue that was listed by the coroner is a known fact. So, you know, it made her sick. Her addiction made her sick, and it caused her to pass. And she really regrets it. She feels like it was really foolish, because she could have made a better choice, and it wouldn't have been that much. It's like she's telling me it wouldn't have been too much more to make a slightly better choice and have a completely different outcome, is what I'm feeling like. And really wants to urge caution, because I feel like there's going to be, there may be and I'm picking up on possibly she could be indicating that we could go through a cycle of where there's a bad mix of drugs on the street in certain areas that will take people out. I'm kind of getting that feeling here, and I feel like she's definitely trying to warn and tell people to be cautious, wherein, you know, in getting their use of different substances, even of course, you know, prescription especially, just to be mindful, because it's so easy to go under the influence and then not remember, be confused, maybe take too much, not realize that how much you've taken. Definitely with the moon, yes, and the Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Wands. This is a time also kicking up where there's a lack of clarity, and people are not thinking straight. And we certainly have that now. I think with the pandemic, with the crazy 5 years of Trump and whatnot, some people are just flipping their burgers, they're just losing it, and unfortunately committing acts of violence upon the public. And I feel like she's wanting to lean into that a bit here. And this is about people also needing to consider and think before they act. Think before they do. Pay attention to the choices that they choose, that they have to make, and especially where their health is concerned. This is the Page of Pentacles. It is a card about health, and not just health, but the earthly realm. And I'm feeling like, because we have illness indicated here, overindulgence and heart attack, she's trying to warn people not to damage their heart, damage their health, and to get help. Because she totally thought she was okay. But she wasn't. She was not able to think clearly. And I think she took perhaps a bit too much, and also very quickly. There's an aspect of making it like, oh, why not, and just not being aware. So there's definitely a caution about lack of awareness. Yeah, and it was just too much for her body. 10 of Wands, 4 of Swords. I think she was also under a tremendous amount of stress and was just trying to escape and go in the bath and have some peace and quiet to herself. But this went further than that, and she passed. But I feel like she was initially saying, I was just stressed and I just want to relax and just have a bit of fun, and then just have a break. She did not intend. The Six of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. This looks like it's people trying to contact her. Maybe. I think she's also telling people, get help. Get help. Duh. Get help. Do not just continue and think that you're okay and that this one time, get help. If you're somebody that has problems with, I think, sobriety, the issue here is don't try and do it all on your own. She was trying to do too much on her own. Here she's indicating, where was that with the 10 of Wands here, and it was just too much for her, too much stress, and she was trying to escape it. But as a result, by using a poor choice in coping mechanism, no matter how enticing initially, it proved deadly. And she just doesn't want other people to make that mistake, to be very aware about what they're doing and thoughtful. And to get help, to ask for help if you're having issues. Death. And the 5 of Swords. I feel like she's saying, you will not win this. You will not win this this situation. Death wins every time. if you overindulge. At the end of the day, all it takes is one slip up. So I feel like there is definitely urging people to ask for help. And I just feel like she's saying to me, it will just bring death around into your environment when you start getting really wrapped up in hard drug use. And she's right. And it also brings people that are not good, that are bullies, and that can take advantage of you. And I think that she's maybe nodding toward Nick Gordon there. The tower. Yeah, and it was sudden. And completely, I'm getting it happened very, very quickly. And she's indicating that it wants people to understand it's not a long necessarily thing. You can die very, very quickly is what she's indicating. And I don't half wonder if she isn't trying to caution people somewhere about using hard drugs, because there's also a feeling like there might be a circumstance where people are given a bad batch as well. More like there's fentanyl or something like that cut into the street drugs is what I'm thinking. But we'll just put that on the side shelves, so to speak, because I'm not exactly sure. But it definitely is, I feel like she's alerting us to the fact that this is getting more and more dangerous, and that the drugs on the street, I think, are getting more and more dangerous and more addictive, more quickly, and there's much, it's just becoming more and more dangerous is what I'm getting from her. And you can die much more quickly. This is where you use moderation and your inner strength to overcome your ego or your drive to use substances, things like that, that are more impulsive actions. And especially to do with substance, drink can kick it off, and I think she might be nodding toward drink being one of the things that would lead her to fall back off the wagon. I'm just kind of getting that, like, you need to be able to have, if you cannot, I feel like she's saying you need to be able to socialize without being impulsive as much with the drink and over consumption, to enjoy the time with your friends, but keep in control, not let it control you. Seven of Swords, it's deceptive. And there is something she's indicating out in public that is in access of the public that is very, has a very hidden aspect, which makes me feel like it's the drug, some kind of drug. It's like the public really, I feel like she's saying the public really is not aware of how risky what they're doing is when they use street drugs now and mix them, and how important it is to be very careful about, okay, if you're taking that medicine and you're drinking alcohol or whatever, if it's getting out of it and you're not able to moderate it, get help. That is for sure. And I feel like this is an indication of saying, there's spiritual support look also to some spiritual support. Get something healthy going in your life where you're not just focused on kind of like the sex, drugs, rock and roll kind of thing. You can have the rock and roll, but you need to sober up and be in charge and learn how to have fun without having to get tanked or to use hard drugs. I really do feel like she's wanting to urge people to be so careful. There is hope if you get help. And it's not an easy time. But she wants to extend, I feel like, from her where she's at to our realm, that she's well known with the star. So she hopes that people will pay attention. But I feel like she's saying, you will go through a harder time, but it's worth it. It is worth it to do, and it's worth investing, finding something that's very spiritual in your life that's healing and positive for you, and that can help you to, I think, deal with where you're putting your time in a more healthy way, rather than by getting messed up under the influence of drugs all day. Okay, she's bringing up a King of Pentacles and the Sun. And this is exposing. Now, Nick Gordon was a Taurus, but so, interestingly enough, no, Bobby was an Aquarius. So I think this is Nick Gordon that she's talking about here. He was a Taurus. I know that much. So she's putting some light on him now. Nine of Wands. Oh, and the Hangman. This is, I feel like, the circumstance with her daughter. And I feel like that Nine of Wands is the boundary issues, healthy boundaries, a problem with that. The Hanged Man is just like this is stuck in place of, I feel like it's the abuse that Bobby Christina was stuck with this guy. And he had too much access, I think she's indicating, in her daughter's life. And I feel like her daughter, as a result, passed because she was stuck in this relationship, I think, that was, unhealthy. And she's putting this with Nick, so this is falling under Nick Gordon in this reading. Yes, there's there are secrets where violence are concerned, also maybe sexual cruelty, this kind of abuse. I feel like he was a very heavy-handed person, because this card, also the Nine of Wands, the head is bandaged. It ends up usually somebody has been through a battle, gotten beaten up, and often this can indicate a head injury or injury to the upper body a lot of times too. And I do feel like this is a nod, she's definitely exposing that, I think, Nick. And I feel like this is where her daughter is concerned. She's showing me that there were secrets involving violence, and I think sexual behavior that was too much, was not in balance. And the High Priestess is saying, yeah, these are things that have not been revealed, that other people, some people might know but haven't said, and there's things that I think some people know that just will never come out. So there were secrets there. And with regard, I think, to her daughter's passing. And he was found liable for her death. And he died, Nick Gordon died 3 years after being found liable for Bobby Christie's death. I mean, she was missing a tooth, everything. So this makes sense. She's revealing him to be violent and invasive where boundaries are concerned. He did not appreciate that Bobby's things were Bobby's and they weren't his. Also, too much. And I think she feels taking him in as a younger person here as the Knight of Pentacles and not the King, around judgment with that. I think she feels a certain degree of responsibility, but because of bringing him in. So here's the judgment about him taking him in the way she did and bringing him in so closely. And also judgment about what he did. You know, I think she's also letting us know that he's facing judgment on the other side, quite possibly with that Knight of Pentacles and judgment. Because they really looked after him very dutifully, and, you know, like a son. And the relationship wasn't appropriate, I feel like she feels like, with her daughter. She, I think, regrets that. Let's see. Yeah, look, I think she feels that Bobby Christina would have been better off had she not brought him in. That she would have had more success, more self-esteem, and be safe above all things. And I think she recognizes her poor judgment in trying to do him a solid. And once it was done, you know, it would be really hard to chop and change it. And it's too bad that she didn't, because I think he just overtook Bobby Christina's position in that family, and I believe the access to finances, he felt, I'm just getting, again, the boundary thing, that he just thought everything that Bobby Christina had, he should have too. And it was not only that, but it was his before it was hers. It's really a strong feeling I'm getting. It's really, you know, not right. Yeah, here's Temperance. It's saying, no, that's the Temperance and the Hermit. Yeah, she's definitely saying she should have, that was not a proper balance, and she should have gotten advice or used greater wisdom with regard to doing so. But now she can share the advice of don't let people in so closely, even despite the fact that you intend well, because they can, you know, and if there's a problem, get rid of them out the door quick. But I think she feels like she should have never done that, is what she's saying. Ace of Pentacles and Three of Pentacles. And now I feel like this is but now there's a new cycle she's indicating of where working with other people. And because there's Bobby Christina and her and Nick Gordon, this could be the three of them even going over what went on in their lives, that they were here, and so kind of like, I think maybe looking at that on the other side, about what they can do now on the other side. It feels like something like that. Like, what can we give? What can we share that is a helpful blessing that is from the three of them? I don't think she would really want to be with Nick, to be personally honest, so maybe it's just her and Bobby. Let's just look here. The Seven of Wands. Yeah, she's defensive, definitely, and Knight of Wands. And she's talking about boundaries. Protect your boundaries. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is you, this is what is yours, your physical body, your checkbook, your house, your clothing, whatever, your property. And as you build more and work more and create more, you need to protect your income and your efforts. And I think so she's also segueing into the financial aspects that were not handled well because of being, I feel like, under the influence, and letting somebody like Nick into her daughter's life, I think, happened as a result of her being perhaps also in a state of mind that wouldn't have happened had she not been abusing substance. That's what I'm feeling like. She feels like she would have made different and better decisions, is what I'm getting. Okay. So that is what I'm getting here with Whitney. And I'm just going to pull the final two cards, this long reading. Well, I think she's being very... There's the Queen of Pentacles. Now, Whitney's moon was I think she had a Pisces. Yeah, that's right. She had a Pisces moon. But I feel like this is just her indicating friendship or bond. And yeah, working to, I feel like she's thanking me for reaching actually out to her to share. But this is because this was something that I'm getting with the Eight of Swords that she couldn't present in another way. That, that when this is an opportunity here to say what she wanted to say, to express herself. Thanks. Unexpectedly. But it worked out with justice, balance. She has really pleasant energy. Just see what else she wants to say. I feel like she's just, again, with a nod toward feeling that at the time, I think she was feeling tremendously under pressure, really stressed and nervous and anxious about, I think, getting back to work and trying to do those sorts of things with work, and trying to sing and I remember at the time that her voice wasn't quite the same, but she was still enjoying herself and still had a lot to give. And I just think she wishes that she hadn't made the choices that she had that night out of stress, wanting to let off steam. Yeah. And it caused her to have to basically abandon her life here and move on, literally. So, she's definitely wanting to encourage, I feel like, and I will let her go. Thank you, Whitney, to encourage people to be mindful of the stuff that they're using and to be careful when they're out in public too. It looks like she's like the people crazy now. All right. So that is what I get on Whitney. And that seems to be at the moment what she really wants to share. And I will give a little bit of a breather space in between her reading and Bobby's reading, because I just think it's too much to do this and then put up Bobby's. It's good to put another one in between. I think people appreciate it more. You get a little bit of a break to kind of let the reading, the information gel. All right, so that is for Whitney Houston, and if you enjoy this content, please make sure you like and subscribe. This was a deeper dive than I had intended, but she kept going. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this content. Make sure that you're subscribed. Sometimes YouTube is bumping people from their subscriptions and eating their comments. I'm sorry. I'll see you in the next video, or live.